Boss is in front, if you can phone me.
Ready? Fine.
Scorpio buff is on him.
To the right.
Oh, mate.
2.3 million I was hitting for with your buff.
Hello, agents. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Now, I've been playing with this build, and I wanted to bring it to you guys for the last couple of days on stream. Twitch.tv Madmarsh. We've been hitting TU15 and Season 9 quite hard. As you can see, 67 season level already, just in the last few days. But yeah, I come up with this build for the reason, basically, that we're going to be getting a specialization revamp, right? And we have this beautiful new talent, the Flatline, in the game, and it is boosting everyone's damage crazy amounts. But what I'm seeing, what I've been seeing in random groups and with my teammates, is a lot of people are kind of forced to run technician with the laser pointer to give them that pulse all of the time. Now, obviously, as was stated in the state of the game, that they are going to be doing a specialization rework. So I thought to myself, when this rework comes out, I have got a very strong suspicion that they're going to be getting rid of the laser pointer. It's not going to be a thing. Now, I could be wrong, and I'm just speculating here, but I wanted to come up with a build that you could use in a group to buff damage and have a pulse up the whole time. So this is the build that I've come up with. I've been using it, like I said, for the last couple of days, and my teammates have been getting some absolute crazy damage. Absolute crazy damage. So here's the build. It looks a bit funky, but like I say, it's working really well, and I'll try my best to explain it for you now. So we'll start off with the weapons. So I'm just utilizing the new Kingbreaker for the perfect flatline. Haven't been able to optimize it fully yet, but it's slowly getting there. This is I don't really use this weapon, but it's, you know, it's just good for that a little bit of sustained damage if you're at a bit of a range and you can't push. And then the Scorpio, which is my main weapon that I'm going to be using throughout, mainly to provide my group with these buffs. All right, so every enemy is going to be taking 20% more damage from all sources. All right, so the Scorpio is awesome, especially when you're moving fast and you're pushing, you know, you're doing legendaries, you're getting aggressive on the enemy. This gun is really good. So the Scorpio, and then I've just chucked the D50 on there, which I don't really use too much. So let's get into the build itself, and then I'll explain while I've chosen the Survivalist Specialization. So the build itself is utilizing the Night Watcher mask. Now, this mask always rolls with armor, and as you can see, I've not got the best stat here. I would love to have skill haste here, but I'm still farming for one at the moment. So I've rolled a skill tier on it, and this gives you 100% scanner pulse haste. Okay, now this drops your time for the pulse to come back by quite a bit. All right, and I've also got a duration mod on there because we want to make sure that our pulse is up for as long as possible, and we can spam it as much as possible, and I'll explain why in just a second. So that's the Night Watcher mask. And then I thought to myself, right, how else am I going to buff the team damage-wise, right? And I thought about opportunistic, and I was like, oh, that's only 10%. And I kind of want to overcharge with this build, right? I want to provide my team with an overcharge. So I went with the 4-piece Future Initiative, okay? So this kind of build doubles up as a damage buff / healer build. Right, so you can keep your team alive. So you don't have to run with a full healer. So the chest piece, Future Initiative. The reason I've gone with Future Initiative is for 4 pieces for the ground control, and then the chest piece, which ups ground control from 15% damage to 25% damage. Okay, which is a massive, massive increase. So that's the 4 pieces, and I've rolled skill haste, and I've got skill duration mod on the chest. And then the holster, again, skill haste, because I want those chems back, and I want my pulse to come back as quick as possible. And the knee pads, exactly the same, skill haste. And the gloves, skill haste. All right, so that's your four piece, right? So that's 25% damage every time you heal an enemy, right? Heal an ally, sorry. So the other part of the build was, right, I need to overcharge. I want to overcharge. I want to give my team an overcharge pulse and overcharge heals. Okay, so I came up with the Costa Go-Go bag. Now, I had this beauty sat in my stash, which was luckily fully maxed out. And this backpack is actually really, really good. Now, I wasn't sure whether the overcharge actually gave my teammates a buff or it was just an overcharge for myself. But I can confirm the pulse does work overcharged. Now, the reason I haven't got the hive on and the gloves, these bad boys, the BTSUs, is because I wanted to overcharge as much as possible, right? To boost that damage from my team. So I've gone for the Acosta Go-Go's bag. Obviously, a lot of you guys will already know what it does. But basically, there's 2 kind of talents on it kind of thing. So the first talent is throwing a grenade, refunds it, and grants +1 skill tier. All right, so we're already at 6 skill tiers. So it will grant me an overcharge. Okay, when at skill tier 6. Now, the beauty of this is the cooldown is every 60 seconds. All right, so we can overcharge every 60 seconds, and we get our grenade back. Okay. Now, just equipping this this piece of gear, we can have 1 armor kit, 3 grenades, 25% ammo capacity, 10% repair skills, which is awesome because we're doubling up as a healer, and we've got plus 10% status effects on there, which is actually really good because of the specialization we're utilizing. Okay, so in short, that's the build. Okay, now one thing I have been tweaking with, and we'll get into the stats page in just a second, is a repair skills mod. So what I've been doing is I've been changing these mods about just to get a little bit more of a better repair skill for my team. Okay, so if we jump into the stat sheet now, and we have obviously very minimal here. You know, we're not here to do damage, we're here to buff our team. So if we just jump straight down to the pulse, and we can see what's going on with the pulse. So we have 85% skill haste on the build. Now, I would love to get skill haste on my Night Watcher's mask, which would boost this up quite a bit. So the cooldown on the pulse is 5.4 seconds. Okay, but the duration is 27.2. Now, if you were to run the skill duration mod, where I've got the repair skills that I've just swapped over, this would go up to 28.2. Okay, so your pulse is going to be up for 27.2 seconds as this build currently stands. Right, so you're boosting the team's damage for 27.2 seconds. Now, if you overcharge straight away, they're going to get a 27.2 plus more with the overcharge. I believe it's 200% overcharged. I'll have a look for that in a second. Confirm that in a second. So it's a huge amount of damage you're giving to your team. 15% overcharged pulse damage. Okay, and the effect radius is 110, which is awesome. All right, and then we just have a bit of skill haste and a better radius and a max radius mod on there. So for our chems, now we've got 85% skill haste. We have 8 ammo. We have a cooldown of 15.1 per chem. The cloud duration's 8.5, which is fine. Now, the reason I wanted to run the extra repair skills was to just make sure that I was just over the sort of cusp of a DPS player's armor. Okay, so the average DPS player, 720 odd K, 750, you know, it varies. So I wanted to make sure it was just over 750 for ally repair. And then we've got 153k repair over time, which is absolutely fine. Okay, so that's the stats. You can pause it if you want to see it. I mean, a lot of this doesn't really apply to this build so much. So specialization, I've gone for the survivalist. Okay, now the reason I've gone for the survivalist is most people you'll see that are run a full healer build will run survivalist, and this is for a couple of reasons actually. So you've got the you got this down here, which is the survivalist tactical link, which group members get 10% bonus damage from targets with status effects. So obviously I've got fire nades. Okay, so I throw a fire nade, which sets the enemy on fire. Then I'm pulsing, so I'm giving 25% extra damage to the team just by throwing the nade and pulsing with the overcharge pulse. Okay, and also we have the armor kits, which can heal your team when you pop one in a close proximity within 20 meters. And also, just the crossbow kicks ass, let's be honest. It's absolutely awesome. So we have pulse resistance as well. And we get some extra skill haste when we're in cover. Yeah, so that's the kind of main things, okay? So we've got 10% protection from elites as well. So that's the main reason why I run survivalist with the build, is mainly for the fire nades and stuff, and the fact that we get 10 of them with this Acosta Go-Go bag. It seems to work really, really well. Now, there is another way that you can run this build. And so what I've been doing with a lot of legendaries in certain points of the legendary, where I'm not getting the full benefits of the chem launcher and I need a little bit more sort of sustained healing, is what I'd do is I'd switch over to the backpack, future backpack. So we've still got our 4-piece future, and I'd put the BTSU gloves on. Now this gives you a chance to overcharge the whole team skills and their hives and stuff, because ideally you want to be running with 3 DPS players. Now, just to give you a little bit of idea on numbers that we've been testing. So I've been running the original build, this build here. And my teammates, on average, have been running something that looks a little bit like this, Heartbreaker-wise, and this Kingbreaker-wise, okay? Now, this build slaps anyway. But what this does, what this build does, is it gives the ability for the team to run different specializations, okay? So grant buffs from different specializations instead of everyone running technician with the laser pointer. So obviously if you're running demo, you're going to get that 5% damage to targets out of cover buff, and so on and so forth. So the teammates have been hitting anything up to 2.5, 2.6 on average, just a normal pulse without an overcharge. They're hitting in the 2 million range, 1.8 to 2 million range per bullet with the Kingbreaker, or with a gun with flatline on it, which is absolutely amazing. Which, another thing which is awesome is that this build can be used in a really, really aggressive manner as well. Normally, you guys will know in the Division game, if you're running glass cannon, you're normally sat at the back with a rifle, you know, sort of popping off. Or you've got a shield and a Regulus, or, you know, you've got something to kind of protect yourself. With this build, you can drop heals on the way with your chems. Your pulse is always up as well. And another reason why, you know, you might be thinking, oh, the duration's quite long and the cooldown's really short. But with certain activities within the game, say you're doing a control point and you kill all of the enemies before the 27th is up, the next enemies that respawn obviously won't be pulsed. So the beauty of having such a short cooldown is that you can constantly pulse enemies that are respawning. So that's the reason for that. Now, by all means, this build is not perfect. Okay, it could be tweaked, it could be changed, and I would really, really appreciate you guys that are watching this video and get to see this video to comment down below and see if you can come up with some other ways of tweaking it. That would be absolutely awesome. Now, I've still got further testing to do, okay? But as it stands at the moment, this is where I'm going to be leaving it, build-wise. I'm going to be tweaking bits and bobs here and there to see if I can get a little bit more damage-wise by maybe utilising some other pieces. But other than that, that's the build. I mean, slap it together. It's quite easy to slap together. You can just craft these at your crafting bench. It will just take one craft, and then you can roll what you want onto it. And then, you know, these pop out of world caches all the time, the faction caches. And then the Night Watchers, you know, it pretty much drops like candy if you target loot, countdown or the summit, or, you know, anywhere in the open world. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to bring this build to you. I'm going to play some gameplay now of some legendaries. Some really cool plays that we were able to make because, you know, we had the healing and we had that damage output from everyone else in the team. But anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you'd like, subscribe. That would be absolutely awesome. All that jazz. And I am live 3 days a week. So I'm part-time streamer on twitch.tv/madmarsh.
You've got your
Pulse.
Don't let anything
No,
stand in your
overcharge
way.
pulse first. Now I'm pulsing. Don't tell me how to run my build run.
Agent down.
That was super laggy.
Gold 25 down.
Purple's down.
Red's coming through.
He's down.
Purple's there.
I killed the controller though.
Only left one.
Purple one's down.
Nice.
Gotta go controller. Purple Grenader's dead.
Nice. You want to get in on these guys, yeah?
Yeah, fucking wrong with you.
Probably fame when they land. Still on the right on get. She's dead on the right. Yeah, no.
Oh, chopper, hurry up.
Holly up, chopper.
Is this the boomers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Backpack straight away, boys. Pulse in.
Backpack on the right's gone.
One chunky down.
All right, off the hill, don't over here, carry on.
Got you, got you, got you.
And the one on the right is...
Almost dead.
Dead.
All the snipers are dead. Should just be 2 reds.
Yeah, that's it. One more on the left, that's it, done.
Nice. Nice. I've got overcharge ready as well, so I'll try and get a grenade right in the middle there. Someone opens the door. Pulse in. Fucking hell, boys.
What the fuck, mate?
I'm gonna go up and get them. Are you ready with a
Yeah,
grenade?
they're coming, they're coming, they're coming, they're coming.
I'm sorry, but this is gonna get fucking nerfed.
Go for backpacks, go for backpacks. While we're shooting sideways, popping a med kit for everyone.
Every bullet coming out of mine is critting at 1.2 million. Every bullet. Yeah, what's up, mate? Not bad as well.
You guys want to push? I've got heals just in front. Well, this is fun.
Easy clears.
Bricks, you lazy bitch. Gotta look for this flatline talent, don't I?
What do you want it for?
Just on all of my other guns. I've got an AR one. Run dropped me one earlier, but
Hang on a sec. I might have
SMG you get from the DC headquarters. You
yeah.
just need a rifle.
Sounds like Run Gun's taking a shit on his mic.
That's not me, that's somebody else.
Bobbing Sailor.
Yo, Sprucey, how you doing, dude?
I'm good, but play on bad. Yeah, just pop in Sailor if y'all want to play.
An agent needs assistance.
Oh my god, drone spam.
Agent down.
Nice.
There you go.
got a chest, mate, guys.